Yo. Yo, yo, yo. What is good, Sixer Nation? Coming at you with breaking news here on Philly Take with RB. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what we do, man. We break down news, we talk about it. We still live stream every game, cover this team. 6 more games to go. Funny enough, I was just about to set my video live, and we get an update on Joel Embiid. The long-awaited answer to our question of what happens next with the 76ers organization. Ladies and gentlemen, this just came out a few minutes ago, so I'm pretty much live reacting here in real time. But welcome into Philly Take with RB. At least we finally have an answer for step 1 of what comes next into the offseason with this organization and more. I'm very curious to hear your thoughts. Let me know down in the live chat. Let me know down in the comments. Or, if you feel like calling in and chiming in, go ahead and hit the Discord, hit the phone lines. I don't know how long we'll be on here, but I wanted to give my initial reaction to this breaking news. You can see it right there, ladies and gentlemen. Shams Charania announces that Sixers star Joel Embiid is going to undergo arthroscopic surgery on his left knee next week, a team official tells ESPN. Embiid was ruled out for the season in late February as he and the Sixers met with doctors to determine the best treatment to alleviate his knee issues. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is official. Joel Embiid will undergo yet another surgery on his left knee. He's going back under, man. I don't know how I feel about this. Give me your thoughts. I'll provide more context in a second. Shams Charania elaborates here. Embiid will be reevaluated in 6 weeks after surgery and is expected to make a full recovery, sources said. It will mark Embiid's second surgery on the left knee over the last 14 months. So, ladies and gentlemen, Joel Embiid to be reevaluated in 6 weeks. Shams says here that he's supposed to make a full recovery, but I have some issues. 1 with the reporting, and 2 with the timeline here. Now, here's the official thing that was put out from the Sixers PR, pretty much saying the same thing. And I think my initial issue here with the Sixers is that, once again, they provide no clarity on what is actually happening, right? Now, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I'm some type of doctor, because I'm not. I just talk about the 76ers. But when you tell us that he's going to undergo arthroscopic surgery, what does that actually mean? Like, are you cleaning stuff out? Are you going to, repair his meniscus? Does he have a meniscus? He's also been hurt 5 million times. He's had how many surgeries? I don't know. I've lost count. But it says further updates will be provided following the procedure. That makes me feel like you still don't have a clear answer. Now, my initial issue here with the situation, actually, let me take a step back. Joel Embiid, I am hoping and praying that everything goes well for you. For Joel Embiid, I'm hoping and praying that he makes a full recovery, and I am hoping that he's able to get back to his MVP self and get back on the floor and look like a superstar player. So I just want to say that. I appreciate Joel Embiid. I know it's been an absolute disastrous season. Nothing has gone his way, the Sixers' way, and he's on the books for the next 4 or 5 years. So they're going to need more production from Joel Embiid. If he can't get there, then they have some big decisions to make. But on top of that, I have an issue with how this is being handled. I do not like the visuals of this. I don't like how they are being so unclear on this reporting. And I don't like the timeline of this. I don't like the timeline of this because the guy got injured for the last, well, he's been injured the whole season, right? But his last, I guess, game on the floor was what? February 22nd? So you're telling me that you guys had meetings and discussions for a month and a half before deciding that Joel Embiid was going to go under the knife again? You're telling me it took a month and a half to decide that Joel Embiid needs to clean out his left knee. That's number one. Number two is the conversation that we heard recently was about Joel Embiid potentially going, I don't know, overseas or to some specialty doctor to try to actually repair the issue. Like, this to me feels like more damage control than anything. It feels like, well, we could just kind of sit here and let it play out and hope it gets better, or we could put you under the knife again and then try to make a tweak and hopefully we can get you back to like playing level. I want the issue to be as best fixed as it can be. Can you provide clarity on what the issue is and how they are actually going to go about it? Now, again, I'm not a doctor, but I just feel like the wording here is, again, very vague, and I'm just getting tired of the lack of clarity. I mean, this is a guy, this is a situation that is going to determine a lot of what happens for the next 5 years of this franchise. And I just feel like, again, they're not really being specific. And why did you not get this done a month ago when you knew he was done for the season? You tried to continually bring him back, and every time he came back, he would then be out for 5 games. And then you had the whole Paul George quitting his podcast saying that we're going for a championship. And then you had Joel Embiid get ruled out the next day for the season. So again, I'm just confused why it took a month and a half to come up with this solution. Now maybe this is just step one of a long journey. I don't know. Are you going to give us a timetable? Can you tell us what comes next? Is he going to be ready for next season? Where do they go from here? That's my question. That's my question. So again, I'm not too happy with the reporting as of right now, but we'll see how it goes moving forward. $5 super chat from Brian Pumper. What's up, Brian? Full recovery and Sidney Sweeney will finally return my DMs. Get this guy off my precious team. So Brian Pumper is essentially saying, yeah, there's no chance he's coming back with a full recovery. I mean, again, I don't like the way that they're reporting it. Just tell us the truth, man. All season long, we've been drugged through the mud and we've just been, lied to left and right. We're like the people getting cheated on in a relationship. Like, just tell us the truth, man. Just tell us the truth. Could this impact the Sixers off season? Could it impact their drafting needs? I mean, like I said, I have a video coming out today about, the Sixers decision makers and what they need to do and things like that. But, there's a lot of good young talent in this draft. Like, is it possible that they maybe go in a different direction now? Let's go to the ESPN article. Let's see if there's anything more in here. I have not read this yet. Here's Shams Charania saying that Embiid will undergo arthroscopic surgery on his left knee next week. The procedure is being done with the goal of reducing the symptoms that Embiid has been experiencing, and that will allow him to perform at a higher level. After being ruled medically unable to play in late February, Embiid and the Sixers started meeting with doctors and specialists to determine the course of treatment to alleviate his knee issues. This is the second surgery on his left knee in just over a year. Embiid will be reevaluated in 6 weeks and is expected to make a full recovery. Prior to being shut down for the season, Embiid experienced continued pain and swelling in his troublesome knee. He underwent multiple rounds of imaging and treatment, consulting with multiple doctors and specialists in an effort to forge a path forward. So honestly, man, that doesn't make me feel good. I feel like that's very contradicting if we think about it. I feel like that's kind of contradicting, right? He says that the procedure is being done with the goal of reducing symptoms that Embiid has been experiencing. But then he says Embiid is expected to make a full recovery. So what is he recovering from? I don't know, man. I don't like the sound of this now. I don't really like the sound of it. Like, what? What? So we're just getting rid of the symptoms, or are we going to actually get to the root cause of the issue and actually fix it? What are we going to do? That's my question. I'm confused. I'm confused. I don't like it. I don't like it. Oh man, this is I don't know. Are you telling me that we're going to have to kind of sit through this again and wait for more info, and then, who knows what's going to happen in May and June, July, August? Like, just tell us what the result is. I don't know if you can just continue to let Joel Embiid play through this issue and just act like it's going to be okay. I mean, obviously he tried to do that this season, and you saw how that worked out, and it completely screwed up the entire team and the chemistry and the flow. And also they couldn't get anybody else because of it. It just doesn't make sense with this reporting. $5 super chat. Brian Pumper says, RB, we got dudes in here talking about not a serious surgery. What's an unserious surgery? What's a light surgery? This is comedy. Yeah, I haven't read the chat yet, but what I will say is any surgery has merit. Like, any surgery is meant to, put you under the knife, put you to sleep, and, it is a serious thing that you have to recover from. And when you think about Joel Embiid and you think about the wear and tear and the surgeries that he's already gone through, you're just putting more wear and tear. It's like the car that keeps chugging along and it's got 180,000 miles on it. And it's having issues. It's, you're repairing it, you're fixing it. But at one point you're like, why do I keep investing and putting money into this thing when I know next week it's going to have another issue? And then it's going to have another issue, and it's going to break down, and it's not going to perform at optimal performance level. So I just feel that the Sixers are at a point where they know that they screwed up by giving Joel Embiid that money. And now they're trying to do damage control because, as I have said before, it feels like it's going to be impossible to try to move this guy. It feels like it's going to be impossible to even want to move this contract. There were people recently telling me, yeah, we can trade PG and Embiid and it's going to be easy and we can get this or we can get that. Guys, if anybody's going to be attaching draft capital in a trade for Joel Embiid, it's going to be the Sixers, not the other team. Joel Embiid had peak value after 2022 when he won the MVP. And the Sixers decided to continue running it through, even after another second round upset. And, then Joel Embiid is off to the best season in NBA history. Then he gets injured last January, and they tried to bring him back in 9 weeks. He then came back, played in the playoffs on one leg, which was not smart. Probably hurt it even more. Then he got into the summer and he wanted to play in the Olympics. So then he plays in the Olympics, probably makes it even worse. And then the Sixers started this periodic lying to us every couple of weeks, saying that he would be back, he would be ready. Then they show up for training camp. He doesn't play in training camp. Then we're like, okay, well, he'll be ready for the preseason. Then we get to the preseason. He doesn't play in the preseason. Then they say he'll be ready for the season. Then we get up to the day before the season starts, and they say Joel Embiid has been ruled out for the opener, and he'll be reevaluated because he's ramping up. They never told us that his knee was just freaking cooked. They just said, oh, he's ramping up. He'll be back next game. Then they kept going. Then we got the game 9. He finally comes back, and he looks like crap. Then he was out for another week. Then he comes back, and then he looks like crap again. Because his injury never healed. The injury from last January. And I'm going to say this again, and I feel like I've said it 5 times in the last 3 weeks. The medical staff needs to be investigated. When you think about all the injuries that this organization has taken in, and the fact that these injuries don't get better. There have been at least 3 injuries this season that were quote unquote unhealable injuries. How do you have an injury that is unhealable? How do you have an injury that can't be fixed? How in the world does Joel Embiid's injury not get fixed? There has to be a change in the medical staff. There has to be an uphaul because this is unbelievable. If I was Joel Embiid, I'd be mad. Now, again, the guy's making a ton of money. He's living his dream, and injuries happen. But this is a guy who, 14 months ago was playing at peak level, was playing like one of the best players in the association. And like I said, you look league-wide, there's all these injuries this year, and there has been for like 4 years. But Joel Embiid is literally unplayable right now. He can't even get on the floor. And now you're telling me that this is like a temporary surgery to try to reduce symptoms that he is experiencing. Why don't we just fix the root of the issue? Can it be fixed? I might have to reach out to doctors and ask them these questions because apparently the Sixers aren't, or they're just not telling us the information. Like if he can't play anymore, just tell us rather than dragging us on again for another offseason. The Sixers are just in a bad spot, man. They're just in a bad spot right now. This is a guy, if we look at his contract, let me pull it up. Let's look at Joel Embiid's contract. Because, ladies and gentlemen, this is getting to a point now where it's like, I don't know how much more time you can just keep doing this. So here's Joel Embiid. He made $51.4 million this season. $51 million to play 19 games. Then he's going to make $55 million next year. Then he's going to make almost $60 million in 2026. We got to scroll over now because we're not even done yet. He's going to make $64.3 million in 2027. And then he's going to make almost $69.1 million in 2028 on a player option. And you think he's going to decline that? No. Of course he's going to accept that. That's the Joel Embiid contract. We have 4 more years of this, ladies and gentlemen. 4. That's insane. 4 more years of this. I mean, it's like, holy smokes. Then you look at Paul George, 51.6 next year, 54 the following year, and then a player option in 2027 for $56.6 million. So again, I've talked a lot recently about these draft picks that the Sixers have. A lot of them fall in 2028 and 2029. It feels like they might not be able to clean this thing out until 2028. There is a lot of weird things going on right now, and this is not good news. $5 super chat from Brian Pumper says, Buddy said arthroscopic surgery is a fancy word for resting. This season has cooked the fan base. Yeah, that's not resting. That's an actual procedure, and anytime you get cut open, man, I mean, you have to recover. And like, I used the car analogy earlier, but Joel Embiid just keeps on getting surgery. I don't know how many more times he can get surgery and still play the game that he loves. I mean, it's a terrible situation. I will constantly go back and stand on the ground that the Sixers should have never, ever, ever paid him that money. Joel Embiid is an amazing player. He has done a lot of great things for this organization, but paying him that money when you knew that he was already consulting with 9 different doctors is unreal. He consulted with 9 doctors and they went ahead and gave him this extension on top of the years he already had left. This is a disaster. You think that lying to the fans all season kept them reeled in? Well, guess what? You try to do that next year and the year after that and the year after that and the year after that. What do you think's going to happen? What do you think's going to happen? Man, this is brutal. This is brutal. $5 super chat from DJ, a.k.a. Mr. Sandman. What's up, DJ? Why did he wait 3 months to get surgery? Will his rehab roll over into the next season? Yeah, I'm starting to think it will. Now, based on this reporting, DJ, hold on, let me go back to the article from Shams. Or I'll just go here. Based on this reporting from Shams Charania, it's only going to be a minor procedure that, cleans out his knee essentially, and that they're trying to reduce symptoms. It's not even like they're trying to fix the issue. I don't know if the issue can be fixed. But essentially, they're just trying to manage symptoms. Well, we're done with that. There's no hope in that. The procedure's being done with the goal of reducing symptoms and allow him to perform at a higher level. We want him to perform at MVP level. And I do think that eventually this is going to stem into having another procedure. And then I don't know if he's going to be able to play again. I don't know if you can fix this issue. So this, to me, off first initial reaction, maybe we'll get more info. This feels like this is the last casting of the line. We're just trying to find something here that we can latch on. But even if that does happen, who's to say that, one, Joel Embiid is going to be the same player or close to it that he was, and who's to say that he doesn't get injured again? So, look, I wish I had better news for you all. I wish I felt better about this, but I just don't. I just don't feel good about how this is being reported. And I don't understand that the Sixers knew that this season was going nowhere, and they sat him out for the last time on, I think it was February 22nd or February 20th, and he did not get the surgery right away. They waited a month and a half to consult with doctors. I mean, this guy, think about this. This is one of the professional sports organizations of the world. And this is an organization where you should be able to get these answers, boom, 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 right away. So why'd we wait a month and a half? And then you kind of teased us of, hey, he's going to get some crazy surgery that Christian McCaffrey got or whoever else. And, then they don't even do that. You know why they're not going to do that? Because then he will be out for another season and the fans are essentially just going to, cash out, chime out, turn it off. But my thing is, like, the fans are already smart enough to do that now. So I'm not happy with this. I wish I felt better about it. If you guys want to chime in, let me know your thoughts in the chat. Guys, do you think Joel Embiid is done? Yes or no? Yes or no? Do you think Joel Embiid is done? Let me know in the chat right now. That's what I would like to know. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know, man. This is frustrating. This is brutal, man. This is brutal. All right, let's go to Brian Sutterer here on Twitter. All right, this is one of those classic Twitter doctors, and I'm not trying to disrespect him in any way. He does YouTube videos as well. When I say Twitter doctor, I'm just saying a doctor on Twitter that reports. And he always is on top of this stuff. So here's what he has to say about Joel Embiid. How many arthroscopic surgeries have we been told will be a complete success for Embiid? Yet issues keep persisting. The quick timeline suggests they will just be doing more of a cleanup, debridement, which rarely fixes things in the long term. Thank you, Brian. See, I thought I was going crazy for a second. Like I said, I'm just live reacting to this as I think about it more. Usually I let these things marinate for a little bit. I'm just thinking as I go. That's exactly what I just said. This is like damage control in the short term. This is not fixing anything in the long term. Short-term benefit, yes, but to act like this is going to turn his career around health-wise is being disingenuous to the fans. I might have to hit up Brian Sutter and get him on the show, man. I might have to hit him up, get him on the show, because this guy's speaking facts right here. He's speaking facts. This is frustrating, man. It's like one domino leads to the next. And for all the people that were like, yeah, they shouldn't tank. They shouldn't, try to do that. Well, this is the only option, man. They need to get another impact player. They need to get another impact player. Let's see what the people in the chat are saying. Jason A-Team, channel member, he says, the issue is not fixable. If it was, it would be already. JS says, this is on Daryl Morey after 9 doctors still went and offered an extension. Yeah, I mean, it's just a bad call. Bad management and a bad organizational decision. Now they're going to pay the price for it for a long time. Even if Joel's not playing, I mean, they're still going to have to pay the guy. KO says he'll be a luxury off the bench like KP for the Celtics. Well, the difference with that is Joel Embiid's going to be making $60 million. So I don't know if you can have a $60 million player on your bench, especially with the CBA and, you know, how all those things work out. I don't think you're going to have that option. I don't know if that's feasible. Andrew says should have kept James Harden. Well, James Harden or not, Joel Embiid still would have gotten injured. And James Harden is never going to win anything either. Maybe James Harden and Joel Embiid's best chances of winning were together, but they had that opportunity and they both choked it away. So I don't know if James Harden would have made a difference. Now, would I have kept James Harden if I was going to pay Paul George? Yeah, probably. I probably would have. But, you know, the Sixers made their decisions and that's where they're at. Nick says he's done. He seems to have a grade 2 sprain tear in his left knee. I went through something similar. Doctors told me it will have a lot of potential of re-tearing. I mean, how many times has Embiid tore his knee? 3, 4? Like, it just keeps on happening. Like Brian says here, I don't think he's going to turn his career around. It's a very sad thing. It's really sad to see where Joel Embiid is at this point in his career at 30 years old. But I think we all always knew that his shelf life was not going to be as long as other players just because of his injury history. I mean, the guy missed 2 years to begin his career. I think we all knew that he wasn't going to have a long shelf life, but at 30, I mean, it's really sad, man. It's really sad. But now we have to wait, 6 weeks, or what'd they say? It's going to happen in a week or two, and then he'll be reevaluated. So now we're going to have to wait more time and then, hope that they give us more answers. So that's really where I'm at with this. Guys, we got a couple hundred people in here. Do me a favor, like this stream if you're in here right now. If you're watching it on the playback, shout out to you. Make sure you have your notifications on, but yeah, it just feels like we are turning a corner here in Sixers land, and it feels like it's going downhill, and it has to get worse before it gets better. Personally, now that I've thought about this for 30 minutes with all of you guys, I just think that the Sixers are trying to do damage control one more time, and I think, the next thing is they're going to try to manage this, and he's going to try to play through more pain and more symptoms. And I just don't know if he's ever going to get back to peak Embiid. And it sucks, but I'm starting to feel like he's going to go down as one of the what ifs. What if he had actually stayed healthy? What if, he didn't have all these injury issues? And, this is why I always say, like, you get your couple chances, you get your couple opportunities, especially now with how the CBA is. You can't keep guys forever. You can't just keep running it back with the same team. You get a window, and once that is passed, you have to retool. And now for the next 3 to 4 years, I mean, they're going to have a lot of work to do. Za in the chat says, what's going to happen with the Germany surgery? Well, I don't think they're going to try to get it. I don't think they're going to get it. I think they're going to try to manage it how it is now and hope that, the symptoms get better or whatever else. But the whole thing just sucks, man. It just leaves a sour taste in your mouth. This sucks, man. It really does. Jason says Flag would be legit. I forgot him and McCain were teammates. Edward says Embiid is in his 30s. He doesn't have healing youth on his side. We see this with every player. Once they get in the 30s, they become injury prone. Well, he's been injury prone since 23, so we've been seeing this his whole career. This is brutal, man. This is brutal. I mean, the good thing looking forward is that you have Jared McCain and Tyrese Maxey and hopefully Quentin Grimes. That's something you can start with moving forward. But, yeah, no, it's just, it's a sad situation. It is. I don't think you can no longer run it back. I don't think you can come into next season and be like, yeah, we're just going to run it back and, you know, we'll be fine and we'll figure it out. No, I don't think you can do that. I don't think you can do that. He only played 19 games this season, and now he's getting another surgery, and that could lead to more, but we'll see what happens. But at the end of the day, just wanted to hop on here, give my instant thoughts and reaction. This is a very sad situation with Joel Embiid, and the Sixers are going to have to figure some things out. The big three of Paul George, Joel Embiid, and Tyrese Maxey only got to play a handful of games together, and I just don't know if they're going to get another chance to do so. And they waited a month and a half to get surgery, and this franchise, they need some new blood. They need some new life, and they need a new identity, man. This sucks. I guess I'll end it off by saying this. I will be dropping a video soon here on the channel in about an hour, so be sure to tune into that. But if the Sixers don't end up, you know, let's say in the top 2 or top 3, like, do they end up drafting a center? Is it realistic for them to draft a center now with this news? Is it realistic for them to go draft a big? I don't think it's completely out of the equation. If you have a guy high in this draft that you really like and you have a high grade on him and he comes into the combine and he's playing well and you get, you know, the 5th overall pick, I don't want another guard. I don't want another guard. You know, you have to address the needs of your team. So, yeah, man, I mean, I'm glad to know that something is finally happening. I wish it didn't take so long. But Daryl Morey has a lot of work to do. And I think we all see the writing on the wall. And it's going to pain. It's going to sting. But got to move forward, man. So we'll see. The bright side of this is that at least they're finally doing something. Maybe there will be a miracle or some type of magic and Joel Embiid will be fine. Who knows? Who knows? Ladies and gentlemen, like the stream, subscribe to the channel, turn the noties on. We'll break down any news that we get, and we'll continue to talk about all this. We have 6 games left in this season, and then we can finally put it past us because the Sixers are 30 games under 500, which is insane. Being 30 games under 500 is insane, but that's how the season has gone. All right, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate y'all for tapping in. We'll get through it, man. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out, but it's going to be tough. It's going to be a little rough around the edges. Joel Embiid undergoing surgery next week. We'll probably have more updates in a month or 2. But it's going to be interesting to hear how they go about this and if they have a press conference, right? I want to hear what they have to say. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the rest of your night. Catch y'all tomorrow on the live stream. Peace.